Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here, and oh boy, we just got surprise balance changes to Warcraft Rumble last night, and those are buffs to Treant and Eclipse, the new minis that were a little bit lackluster at the start. And not only did we get balance changes, Blizzard has also finally made it so that you can get news in the game. So when you log into the game, you see, hey, there's balance changes. Wow, amazing, like basic functionality, but still amazing for Rumble. I mean, good direction, good direction. Following player feedback, the changes below are now live. Treant's health and damage of each spawned Treant now increases by 5% for each gold spent. Treant base health increased to 225, and Treants are no longer vulnerable. Whereas Eclipse increased Moonfire's initial damage to 180, and increased Moonfire's damage over time to 18 damage per tick. So these are the balance changes. What do these mean? I have now had a chance to test them a little bit. Obviously they came last night, so I haven't done extensive testing, but I did manage to test some things about these. And luckily they don't change the talent options that much. They may change a little bit on which one is the best talent, but the two best talents for both minis are clear, so if you get them to rare, then you will have the two talents that are worthwhile, and the third one is junk anyway. So for Treants are much tankier now, but actually they're still weaker than Footmen for tanking. 10 gold Treants now have something like 366 health, so Footmen have 800 health, and there's 5 Footmen, 800 health each, so the Footmen squad is still better than just using Treants for tanking. However, Treants do deal a bit of damage, so those 10 gold Treants especially, they now hit fairly hard. Propagation Treants, I tested Propagation talent, they have the baseline stats. So the bunch of Treants that are going to come at your base, they will have the baseline stats, they won't have the 10 gold stats even if you spend 10 gold on the Treants. And that means that Propagation talent lost a little bit in relative position compared to the Healing talent, the Composting. Healing talent is stronger now because Treants have more health, they don't all die at the same time as much anymore, which means that they actually have time to heal each other. So I'm a little bit uncertain right now which talent is stronger. I do still like Propagation because that's still a whole bunch of Treants, additional Treants for you. But healing, especially if you combine these with something like Onu, so that you play Onu and then you play a bunch of Treants and then they start hitting stuff and then some of them die, but they also heal things up, even though the heal is rather minor. But still, now that they have a little bit more health, they don't all just die, so they get to benefit from the heal, then overall it all adds up. And Uproot talent is still completely useless, because, well, Treants are going to fight against the rooted target until there are no more Treants left, and then it's going to be rooted for a little while, and that's just not worthwhile. So, well, we'll see if Onu First Strike Treants can really be a thing now. But, of course, getting Onu up there and then saving gold to get bigger Treants that hit harder is a little bit difficult, but overall, slightly stronger mini now. I'm actually still uncertain. I mean, that was a huge buff to Treants, and I'm still uncertain whether they're good enough to see play. But definitely much better now than they were. Whereas for Eclipse, now Eclipse has two somewhat useful damage spells, because Sunfire and Moonfire both now deal pretty decent damage, especially Sunfire and especially with the Burn talent. So the choice is still between, do you go for the Solar Flare, Sunfire also burns enemies, or do you go for Celestial Focus, spells gain 2 levels if played immediately after Sunfire or Moonfire. Those are still both relevant options, and Umbral Force is still not useful, not even with the buffed Moonfire. So it feels less bad now to weave in some Moonfires, so that obviously benefits Celestial Focus, because now Jaina plus Eclipse plus a spell like Execute, then you don't mind that it's Moonfire, so that's going to be awesome. But also because the spell in general is more usable, that means that even if you go for the Solar Flare, then sometimes when you maybe have to play a Moonfire, then, well, it doesn't feel as bad. So those are still the top talents for Eclipse. Overall, nice buffs. Treants borderline playable, and I think I will be able to figure out some uses for them now. And Eclipse definitely looks playable at the moment. So, hey, balance changes coming in faster, news in-game. That's a good sign for Rumble. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.